The way I started off, extremely naive, with just a very strong vision and mission, was probably the right way. Hi, my name is Ishita Sawant and I'm the founder and CEO of Meola.
In one sentence, what's the most unusual place or situation where an idea for your startup was conceived?
I don't know if this idea of what I would like to do as a startup, but I recall when I was at university, I had a friend of mine who had also started a venture of her own. And I think up until that point, I hadn't ever considered that, I could venture out at my own straight out of college. So I think I kind of saw her as an inspiration, and that kind of opened up my route into entrepreneurship.
What's the most unexpected challenge your team faced while developing your product or service, and how did you overcome it?
I think so fairly early on we were faced with so many challenges that nothing seemed crazy enough to shock us. But I think some of the challenges around kind of just managing people, whether it was our customers, our suppliers, or even in team members sometimes, because everyone's so different from each other. So I think we've had some interesting ones around people. One that I can probably remember is, when our customer support team used to have all these stories about the feedback calls that they used to do in the early days. And some of them were not so pleasant. Thankfully, most of them were quite pleasant, so it balanced it out. But those stories were very interesting to listen to.
Can you share a pivotal moment that validated your startup idea or its market potential?
So I think it was quite interesting. There was a time at which someone from HUL actually reached out to me over LinkedIn and asked how they could go about onboarding their premium clean beauty brands onto Meola as a platform. And I think I would really consider that a pivotal moment where we realized that we were really creating that market for sustainable, conscious consumers and sellers the way we wanted to. Because if a legacy brand like HUL wanted to list on Meola and that was an inbound request, we were probably doing something right.
What's the most unconventional strategy or tactic your team has used to gain traction or attract customers?
So I think our offline strategy, right? It was very counterintuitive for a brand like ours, which was digital first, to say we fairly early in our journey are going to go into the WeWorks and the co-working spaces and communities to have consumers know about what we do. And that offline touchpoint really helped consumers build that personal connection with us, the recall value, and we saw a lot of those customers then eventually transact on the platform. So that was quite counterintuitive. In fact, we got some backlash for it, saying that, you're digital first, you should acquire only digitally. But I really believe in an omni-channel approach. So I think that's something that the team executed very well.
What's one thing you wish you knew before starting this venture?
Actually, I wish the way I started it and not knowing anything was probably the best way of starting it, because then you end up kind of diving head first and not thinking about all of the repercussions of it. So yeah, I don't think, the way I started off, extremely naive, with just a very strong vision and mission, was probably the right way. Because if I would have known all of the nuances, I probably would have thought twice and still ended up doing it. But, I think the way I started off was good.
If you could distill your startup journey into a single word or phrase, what would it be, and why does that resonate with your experience?
It's like endless fulfillment, right? Because while every day you're making some kind of progress and some kind of headway and some success, at the same time, every time you meet a certain goal, your goalpost only moves ahead. So it's endless kind of fulfillment that you can look for. But apart from that, I think, just how disciplined the team has been, how rigorous our days have been to get to that fulfillment is how I would kind of summarize the startup experience. That, just hard work leads to never-ending fulfillment.
Share a quirky or unexpected habit or ritual within your team that contributes to your startup's productivity or success.
So rituals per se, we're a fairly young team, so everyone's still navigating, the dynamics internally. But I think overall, we're a very young team, so we discuss a lot of contemporary topics. Sometimes conversations get too deep and there are conflicting opinions. So I think that's what it is. Just us being young, where we just all get along. Rituals, I think we still have to build out. I can imagine us kind of doing these, laughing exercises and like Zumba or something to tune up the day, but nothing that we've actually gotten around to. But we have a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughing that happens on the floor.